Hello viewers, welcome to Homeson's Education channel. My name is Rajesh and today I'm going to discuss the chapter Learning to Cook by Captain Marriott Frederick. Learning to Cook. This lesson has been extracted from the book The Children of the New Forest by Captain Marriott Frederick. This book was set in the 1640s during the English Civil War between the supporters of King Charles I and parliamentarians. The parliamentarians burned down the mansion of Colonel Beverley, a supporter of King Charles. Colonel Beverley was earlier killed in the battle, and he had 4 children who were rescued by Jacob Armitage, who was very loyal to the children's father. And finally Jacob brings them up as his grandchildren. This chapter starts with Jacob arriving at his cottage, and the children were waiting outside for his arrival. The moment Jacob arrived at the cottage, the children rushed towards him. They all hastened towards him. And Jacob, he had a pet dog. His name was Smoker. He also followed the children to welcome his master. After that, Jacob said that he tried his best to be back as soon as it was possible for him. And at the same time, he also told the children that he had seen the troopers scorching in the forest. Means they were searching for some people. At this, Alice, she asked Jacob, what if the troopers come to our cottage? Will they burn our cottage? At this, Jacob, he said, first thing what we need to do is, we need to get inside our house, inside the cottage directly. Or else what will happen, if they see us, they will come here. At this, Alice asked, means holding his hand, Jacob's hand. She was a small girl, so it was very natural to come up with such questions. So she asked, what if they come here? What would they do? Will they burn the cottage? At this, Jacob, he replied that if the troopers, if they come to know that you and your brothers are here, they might burn the cottage as well. So the first thing what we need to do is, we need to get inside the cottage. They all entered the cottage. The cottage, it consisted of one large room in front and 2 back rooms for bedroom. There was also a 3rd bedroom which was behind the other 2 and did not have any furniture in it. So after that, what happened? Jacob, he said to the children that let's do one thing, let's see what's there for dinner. And then he said at the same time that I know venison is left. Venison, deer meat, we call it venison. So he said that I know that venison is there. So come, let's get together and then we'll start cooking. We all should be useful to each other. Means what? We all should work together. And then he also asked that who would be volunteer, who would like to be the cook today. At this, Alice, she replied that I would like to be the cook, but I can cook only if someone teaches me how to cook. At this, Jacob very encouragingly he said to Alice that okay, you will be the cook today and I will teach you how to cook. And then there were some potatoes in the basket. The basket was in the corner and some onions were hanging on the string. Then what happened? Jacob also said that in order to cook, we will need what? We'll need water. So who is going to fetch a pail of water? At this, Edward, he said, I will go and fetch the pail of water. So he took a pail and went out to the spring to fetch a pail of water. And in the meantime, Jacob and Edward, they started cutting the venison into pieces. The iron pot was cleaned. Then the meat and potatoes put with water into the pot and was placed on the fire. And after that, Jacob said, now I will cut up the onions, for they will make your eyes water. At this, Humphrey, he said that I don't care, I will cut the onions and at the same time I'll cry. And he took a knife and he started cutting the onions into pieces. While he was cutting the onions, naturally, it's very natural that if you cut onions, it's very natural that tears will roll from your eyes. So, while he was cutting, sometimes he would wipe the tears with his sleeve. But still, he kept on doing his work. After that, Humphrey, he was being appreciated by Mr. Jacob. Why? Because he was very ready. He was ever ready to do anything as being instructed by Mr. Jacob. So he was appreciated. He was said that you are a good person, you are a good boy. And then what happened? All the onions were put and let it all boil up together. And after putting the onion, after the boiling took place, the dinner was ready. And at this, Jacob said, see, you children, you all have helped each other, you all have worked together, and finally you have made your own dinner today. And for example, sometimes when you cook along with your members of your family, if you cook together and when you eat together, that gives you a different delight. Yes? So Jacob appreciated the children that they had cooked their own food and they would have the dinner which was cooked by them. After that, Humphrey was asked to get the plates which were on the drawer, and Alice, she was asked to get the knives, and they all were almost ready, means the dinner was ready. They were about to have their dinner, but in the meantime what happened? Edward, who was given the charge to look through the window to check if the troopers were approaching towards them, or to inform Mr. Jacob if he sees that the troopers were galloping. So by the time they were getting ready for the dinner, what happened? Mr. Jacob was informed that the troopers were galloping. So immediately what happened? All the plates which were ready on the floor to have the dinner, everything was cleaned, everything was placed, and at the same time Jacob, he told the children that what you need to do is Edith, the youngest of the 4 children, she was asked to pretend as if she is asleep. Yes, and Edward, what would Edward do? He would wear the hunting frock. Yes, Mr. Jacob's hunting frock would be worn by Edward, and then Humphrey and Alice, they would lie on the bed as if they were sick. So that was the plan which Jacob came up with. So, as being instructed by Jacob, the children, they did as they were being instructed. Edward, he took a mug which was filled with water. Edith, she pretended as if she is asleep, and then on the other hand, Alice and Humphrey, they were lying on the bed as if they were sick. So in the meantime, what happened? They could hear the voice of the troopers approaching towards them, and then finally they could hear the knock. And at this, Jacob, he said that, who is there? You can come in. When the troopers, they entered the room, they inquired, who are you? At this, Mr. Jacob said that, I'm a poor forester. I'm a poor forester and I have some problem. I'm facing some trouble. At this, the troopers asked, what trouble are you facing? What problem do you have? At this, Mr. Jacob, he said, let's say my children are suffering, they are suffering from smallpox. So, I'm not feeling well. Means that is the trouble which I'm having right now. At this, the trooper said, but we'll have to search your cottage. Jacob said, it's okay, you can search my cottage, but make sure the only help I need from you is you do not frighten those children. And gradually, one after another, he opened all the doors. The troopers, they searched everywhere, and they did not notice the children, because already Jacob had told them that my children are suffering from smallpox and I don't want you to disturb them or to frighten them. So when the troopers, when they got into the cottage, means in their room, Edith, the youngest girl, when she saw, she got little bit what, frightened. At this, Edward, he petted the small little girl and she pretended as if she is asleep. And what happened? The troopers, they checked all the rooms. They saw the children, but they did not notice that much. And then finally they thought that being here or searching here is of no use. And finally they left the cottage. This is all about the chapter Learning to Cook by Captain Marriott Frederick. I hope you all must have liked the chapter. So please subscribe our channel for more videos. Thank you. Take care. Bye.